Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. O'Gara is here. We're going to be doing 16-3 practice buddy. I'm going to go over the questions you had yesterday, and then you're going to be doing a second part to 16-3 today and the quick check. I would be using my book, page 834, because on page 834, it lists the different types of quadrilaterals. It gives the definitions, and it gives some characteristics of each one. And then I also have this other chart here that I'm going to be using, which talks about the different characteristics of quadrilaterals and how some of quadrilaterals can be more than one type of quadrilateral. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first one, write all the names possible for the quadrilaterals. And that's the tricky part about quadrilaterals, is they can be more than one name depending on their characteristics. So looking at this picture here, I am noticing that it is a quadrilateral because it has four sides. I'm also noticing that with the four sides, that these two sides are parallel from each other and the same length, and that these two sides are parallel to each other. I don't see any right angles in this shape here, so I'm going to kind of use those characteristics to figure out which ones they are. So looking at my book and looking at the definitions they give, I'm thinking it might be a parallelogram because a parallelogram has two pairs of parallel sides. It does not have any right angles, which means it's not a rectangle, and all four sides are not the same length, which means it's not a square or a rhombus. So looking at the choices, I have quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus. It can't be the rhombus because a rhombus has all four sides the same length. I have quadrilateral and parallelogram, so I'm going to choose that one. Okay. All right, so next question. So they're asking us to name this quadrilateral. So again, looking at the sides, I don't see any sides that are the same length, but I do know the two sides that go horizontally are parallel to each other, these two, because if they keep going in both directions, they will never intersect. So now let me use that to figure out which type of quadrilateral it is. So looking at the choices that your book is giving, it could be a parallelogram. Let's look. A parallelogram has two pairs of parallel sides. Well, looking back, we only found one pair of parallel sides, so it's not a parallelogram. A rectangle has four right angles. It does not have right angles, so we're going to say no to the rectangle. Square has four right angles, and all the sides are the same length. It does not have that. A rhombus is a quadrilateral that has opposite sides that are parallel and all the sides are the same length. Again, no, it did not have all four, more than one set of sides being parallel. And then we have a trapezoid, which is a quadrilateral with only one pair of parallel sides. So I'm going to say this is a trapezoid because it has one set of sides that are parallel to each other. So I'm going to choose this answer. That was correct. If you had to keep going back and forth to your book while doing this yesterday, and even if you have to do it again today, that's fine. That's what you should be doing. You should be using your resources to answer these questions. So write all the possible names for this quadrilateral. So a lot of you are probably saying it's a square, and you are correct. It is a square. But what other quadrilaterals could it be? So that's why I'm going to use this chart here, because when I go down, I can see the square is here in this picture. Underneath square, four equal sides, two pairs of parallel sides, four 90-degree angles. But then I also see square down in the rectangle. A square is a specific type of rectangle because it has four sides. Opposite sides are parallel to each other, and it has two pair of parallel sides, and the opposite sides are equal, which means that the two sides that go horizontally are the same length, and the two sides that go vertically are the same length. I also see square down in parallelogram as well. So a square is also a parallelogram because it has four sides, opposite sides are equal, and two pair of parallel sides. So when I look at my choices that I have here, I have quadrilateral, parallelogram, rectangle, but it's missing square. Quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus, but I'm missing square again. quadrilateral, parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, square. And rhombus was the other one that we didn't miss. This square is also a rhombus because it has 4 equal sides, opposite sides are equal, and 2 pairs of parallel sides. So our answer is this one. It is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides, parallelogram because it has 2 pairs of sides that are parallel, rectangle, rhombus, and square. So a square pretty much fits in every category except for the trapezoid. Okay, again, they're giving us the square, which we just said is a quadrilateral, parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus. Okay, let's take a look at this question. Is it possible for a quadrilateral to be both a rectangle and a square? So let's look at our chart. So it's saying, can a quadrilateral be both a rectangle and a square? Well, when we look up here at our rectangle and our square, the square is just a square because it has 4 equal sides, 2 pairs of parallel sides. So a rectangle cannot be a square, but it looks like, according to this chart, a square can be a rectangle. 4 sides, opposite sides are equal, and 2 pairs of parallel sides. So let's see if we can find an answer that says yes, because a square is a type of rectangle. So yes, a square is a specific type of rectangle. That's what we just said. And I think it says that in your book too. It says a square has 4 right angles and all sides are the same length. And it is a parallelogram, a square, a rectangle, and a rhombus. So A could be our answer. It says B, rectangles have 4 right angles while squares do not. That is true. No, squares have all sides the same length while rectangles do not. That is also true. And yes, a rectangle is a specific type of square. That is not true. But the one that is true, it is possible, even though these two are saying no, it is possible for it because a square is a specific type of rectangle. Okay, last question. Mitch draws the shape shown. He says the shape can be classified as a quadrilateral, 4 sides. Yes, I agree. Parallelogram, yes, because opposite sides are parallel, and that's what a parallelogram is, 2 pairs of parallel sides, one side and one side. A rhombus, so a rhombus is a quadrilateral that has opposite sides that are parallel and all the sides the same length. So far I agree with that, because if we look at it, this side and this side are the same length and parallel. This side and this side are the same length and are parallel, and all 4 are the same length. And a square. Well, a square, the only difference is a square has those 4 right angles. This shape, however, does not have 4 right angles. So it did fit quadrilateral because it had 4 sides. It did fit parallelogram because it has 2 pairs of opposite sides that are 2 pairs of parallel sides. It does fit a rhombus because all 4 sides are also equal, but it does not fit the square because it does not have right angles. So now that I've kind of gone through and figured it out on my own, I can see which one of the choices fits. So we're looking for a no because we've decided it is a no. So no, the shape Mitch drew is a quadrilateral, parallelogram, and a rhombus, but cannot be a square because it does not have 4 right angles. That's exactly what we said. But let's look at the other no's. No, the shape Mitch drew is a quadrilateral, a parallelogram, and a square, but cannot be a rhombus because it does not have any right angles. But we know that a square does have right angles, so this answer is not correct. And then no, the shape Mitch drew is a quadrilateral, square, and rhombus, but cannot be a parallelogram because it does not have 2 pairs of parallel sides. But we can see from this picture, it does have 2 pairs of parallel sides. This side and this side are parallel, and this side and this side are parallel. So it is not D either. So that means A is our answer. And we are correct. Okay, so I just went over the questions from the practice buddy. You are going to have a second practice buddy today and the quick check, I believe. Please use this chart on page 834 in your book to help you when doing it. Look at the different characteristics that the book is giving you for each shape, see which ones it fits. Also use this chart here because again, it shows that what other shapes a shape can be. I mean, look at our parallelogram here. We have a square, we have a rectangle, and we have a parallelogram here. Okay. So, and we also could put the rhombus in there too, as well. As rhombus can also be a parallelogram. So use this chart. It's up on Schoology. Use any other charts that Miss Weigel gives you. If you have any questions, please let us know. Please reach out and we will be more than happy to help you. Have a great day.